Even
Welcome to Go Bucks. There have been some nuggets dropped today,
some fake
specifically
news.
by Justin Spiro. Uh, I think Matt he was a big advocate of Michigan getting the hammer, but we've got that. My gosh, we've got the saga with John Mateer and showing his Venmo. I'd love to get your thoughts about that because he deleted those Venmo messages, which I think the NCAA should give him at least a suspension for doing that, just like Sharon Moore. But we've got a few things to talk about. A lot has dropped today. But in any case, please subscribe to the channel. Super chats are open. We are ready to talk about all this. And Matt, after the Justin Spiro news, how are you feeling? Are you feeling more confident, less confident about the results of the Michigan scandal, or are you unaffected?
I think there is zero chance that reporting is accurate. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you think about it, look at all of the drama that Michigan has been through over the last couple of years. They could have just negotiated something with the NCAA, and this could have been done over a year ago. Why take the time and the bad publicity and go through the hearing and everything else if it's just going to be a fine and the already self-imposed suspension, which is nothing, of 2 games? Yeah, I mean, it's just like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so let's talk about what Justin Spiro actually said. And I'm getting this
Yeah.
second, third hand. I actually watched Menace to Sports today and learned and just watched those guys, Zach and Chris, talk about that. But here's what they're saying. Justin Spiro reporting that Michigan will get a $14 million fine. Sharon will get a 2-game suspension. And this is coming from Spiro. It's third hand to me. But 2-game suspension for Sharon Moore. Jim Harbaugh and Connor Stalions will get absolutely blasted, supposedly. And that's it. No postseason ban.
Yeah, I mean, I
No
think
vacation of
specifically it
wins.
was Connor was getting a lifetime ban, and Harbaugh was getting up to, I think his 4-year show cause got bumped up to 10 years or something, some nonsense like that. So there's no reason that they wouldn't have done this and had this over with, because there's a bunch of violations that were against the school, level 1 violations, and they were on probation. Even if you take the probation away, but they have all those violations against the school, so they're saying all they're getting is a fine for that. I mean, I think it's a
Yeah.
little silly.
So you're saying that was no reason to wait 2 years
Yeah,
and
why
go
would you
through
do
an
that
active
if this is the case?
investigation?
And so we have all these people that are major reporters that have been following this and breaking this. Usually, someone from ESPN or Yahoo or something
Mhm.
would be breaking this. And I believe Spiro said that that someone was going to be breaking it later this week. And if that was the case, if he actually knew this and was hearing it from somebody, that it would have been broken. The story would have been leaked by a real reporter, not Justin Spiro. No offense to Justin Spiro. He's like, I mean, he's not a national reporter. Like, someone major would have leaked this, not a minor Michigan State podcaster, right? I mean, just look at the
Yeah.
source.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know a lot about Justin Spiro. But
You don't need to
it
know
is
anything about him.
interesting.
He's a small time person who, there's the odds of him having a source that had all of this. I mean, it's just, come on, just use some
Yeah.
common sense. Like, there's how many millions of people are following Ohio State and Michigan, and how many national reporters would love this story, and you're telling me all we can get is Justin Spiro? It's just not a realistic source. I'm not saying, no. First of all, let me just say, I'm not saying that the NCAA couldn't do something like this. I just don't believe that Justin Spiro knows, because a real reporter would have reported this.
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, maybe they don't have the details. I agree with you. I have no
I mean,
clue.
it doesn't make sense.
I have no clue if this is right.
Usually random
Exactly what I
people
predicted.
with random people with 25,000 followers or something are not going
Well,
to be breaking a story that's been going on for 2.5 years or whatever. I mean, it's just silly.
Agree. I mean, there's so much. There are shows that have made a living based on the Connor Stalions,
Yeah.
like saga. Us too. I mean, we love talking about it too. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, it might be just someone wanting to get like one more big like story out of it, one more bust of views, and that kind of thing. I mean, it's possible. We don't
I
know.
mean, it's
We'll
more.
find
I
out.
think it's more likely that he's trolling everybody. I think that would be the. I mean, he's been pushing the hammer for quite a
Why
while
not?
now, right? 2 years,
Why
and
not
then
troll? I
it
mean,
makes more sense that what he's doing is trolling because all the Michigan fans were calling him, a sore loser Michigan State fan, and now all of a sudden they're like, oh well, we have to listen to what Spiro's saying now. I mean, this is amazing news, and now they trust him because he's saying something they like. It's just, people are fake. Either you trust the source or you don't. I personally am not. I don't have anything against the guy. I just, if it's a major story like this, like Russia's invading Ukraine. Are we going to trust Justin Spiro on this? No, we're not. It's a pretty big story.
all I got to say is you better. I'll help you. Like get a little more familiar with the Michigan, like real words of the Michigan fight song. That is the bet. That is the bet. If Michigan does not have to serve a suspension as far as a postseason ban, if they don't have vacated wins, both of those, I win the bet. And Matt has to be on the air live and sing the Michigan fight song.
So
That's
what if there's an
that's the bet.
appeal?
We will have to talk about that.
Because if
Good
Michigan
point.
loses and it's bad, they're probably going
Then
to
there's going to be
appeal.
an appeal.
And then
we'll have to
if
wait.
Michigan gets a light sentence, then I'm going to appeal.
Oh, a light sentence, and then you yourself are going to appeal. Hilarious. But I don't know. I mean, do you actually know the real words to the Michigan fight song? And I'm not talking about
No idea.
the words that they sing at the varsity club in
I
Columbus.
try to block it out. Yeah, I only know
You'll have
the
to
good
learn it.
words, the good version that Ohio State fans sing.
Supposedly, Ohio State has words to their fight song, and I looked them up once, and it looked like they were written by a fourth grader. So if I've got to do that same thing, it's going to be weird.
So do I have to sing the song according to the real words? I can't use.
Yes,
I can't use the Ohio State version.
the real version, of course. That is the bet. That's the humiliation part of the bet.
So yeah, one of the things we were going to have a podcast the other day when the other news came out about the Venmo situation that I was comparing.
What's up with that? Yeah,
I was comparing that to Connor a little bit, which I thought was kind of funny. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So is this John Mateer?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, my gosh, John Mateer. Like, does anyone believe that he wasn't actually like betting?
So do you know the timing of it too?
No. Go ahead.
Okay, so the timing was he paid someone, and it said USC versus UCLA gambling or whatever, and it was the day after they played. So the timing was pretty curious, if you ask me.
A little curious.
But yeah, he was a freshman at Washington State when he did that back in 2022, and then there was a lot of negative publicity. Obviously, he's supposed to be the starting quarterback at Oklahoma this year. Nate's probably hoping, even though he doesn't think Connor did anything wrong when he did that, I'm sure you will be happy. I'm sure you will be happy when he gets banned and can't play against you guys in week 2 this year.
It's a real stupid thing to get banned for. I mean, stupid and kind of a stupid rule, but man, the NCAA, they don't take gambling.
I mean, look at Pete Rose. He gambled a couple times on his team winning. Not even anything bad. He still has a lifetime ban. Sports organizations take this stuff very seriously.
Yeah, and I don't really care if he's there for the Michigan game or not. Excuse me. I think that would be hilarious if he was suspended for that. But I do have kind of a thought around him actually deleting or going like deleting his account.
Yeah.
On Venmo. Is that synonymous to
Did he delete it or did he make it? Did he delete it or did he make it private?
I think he just deleted his account, or totally dumped it. I mean,
So
is that obstruction, like the way Diego and everyone has actually said that Sharon Moore should be like getting the death penalty basically for knowingly
say
obstructing a case?
I would say probably, but there is a little bit of a difference because in the Sharon Moore case, he did that after the investigation started.
No, I don't think he did. I
Wasn't
think
it
he
right
saw
when
the
the
headlines.
investigation, or
He basically saw the headline.
right when that story leaked, or when the story
Yeah.
was first reported?
Same with John
So
Mateer. Started seeing headlines in the news
yeah,
or tweets. It was like, oh shit.
I mean, I think he's screwed. I personally think he's screwed. The only saving grace would be, I don't know how long it's going to take them to do something about it, because NCAA is historically pretty slow on this stuff, except for with gambling. Everyone, whether it's NFL players or, I mean, didn't Jameson Williams get nailed for like 6 games
Yeah.
last year, I think, for gambling?
Something silly with
Uh,
James.
yeah, I mean, they're really strict on the gambling stuff. So I still don't know how they're gonna find out any more details other than it being on Venmo. Like, what else are they gonna?
Do they need anything more?
I
If it says
mean,
for sports gambling, I mean,
yeah.
is that basically just like you're like admitting to it essentially? I mean, what other investigations do you generally need to do? I don't know. I don't know what the NCAA needs.
I'm sure he's gonna get nailed. I just don't know how long it's gonna take for them to do
At
it.
least 2 years,
Well,
obviously.
this is probably gonna be his last year, I'm guessing. He'll probably play this year and then go pro.
Yeah, too funny. But
He'll get a 10-year ban as soon as he's in the NFL, where it doesn't matter. And then, of course, Ohio State also happens to be the only investigation ever where the coach was suspended. The coach and player were suspended in college and in the NFL.
on
So
brand for the NCAA.
yeah,
Week 2
so
years.
they make one crazy ruling where they were so upset at Tressel because he lied about his players trading their memorabilia for tattoos, and that got him an NFL ban.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yep. Very true. He lied about it and got caught red-handed with his emails.
No, I agree. I think he should have been in trouble in college for that, but in the NFL, it's kind of strange. I mean, honestly, I probably would be okay with it if they actually made that rule consistent. Like, look at Pete Carroll, right? I mean, he had all this cheating at USC, and then he just leaves and goes and becomes a mega coach. Just as popular as he was in the NFL as he was in college, and was a pretty big success. And it didn't affect his career at all. Same thing with Harbaugh. He gets out right when things got bad for him in college, and there's no repercussions. It's just strange that there's one time this happened where they actually punished people and made people accountable, and now they're just they're doing these really harsh 10-year punishments on people that aren't there anymore. It's just kind of ridiculous.
Pretty ridiculous. Pretty ridiculous. But speaking of that, so I'm guessing you still think after this news that you think that we're getting trolled by Spiro. That's very possible. But do you still think that that Michigan's still actually going to get that bowl ban?
Yeah, I think it's going to be both. I mean, I honestly think vacated wins are probably more likely than a bowl ban, but I still think, based on everything that I've read, bowl ban, at least 1 year bowl ban and 2.5 years of vacated wins in my opinion, it's the most likely. Slightly less likely to have 2 years or 3 years of a bowl ban. It should be similar to what happened with Tennessee. Like, Tennessee got 2 years of vacated wins.
Yeah, but they did something totally different.
They cooperated, and by cooperating, they didn't get the bowl bans.
Yeah, but
Michigan
Tennessee did something like much more like predictable for the NCAA. Like, if a bunch of coaches are implicated in paying players to come to their school, they know what to do for that. Like, they have a playbook for punishing schools for that. Like,
but
like
you also had two.
Scouting
You had two.
you had
two coaches involved in obstruction. Two.
Not really.
Not really. What do you mean, not really?
I mean,
yeah, you had one person telling everybody not to talk.
Head coach was like
and you
caught
had
up in
another one who was deleting all of his texts.
Deleting his texts. Those are minor. I mean,
telling everybody
the crime.
Telling everyone not to cooperate with the investigation is minor.
Well, that guy's gone. I mean, he's fired.
Okay.
There are some individuals who did things that got them fired, and that's one of them,
Yeah.
for sure.
Lack of institutional control, my friend. I think that's what we're going to be getting.
Tennessee didn't even get lack of institutional control, and they had their
because
head coach was actually
they
implicated.
cooperated. They went above
matter.
and beyond the absolute opposite of what you guys did. When I went over everything on the aggravating and mitigating factors, every single thing on the aggravating list was basically what Michigan was doing, completely obstructing all the way from the beginning to the end. No one would even talk with the NCAA.
I don't.
You're not allowed to do that. That's obstruction.
I think you
No one
might
involved-
be embellishing some of the.
No one was talking. No one. Connor didn't talk. None of the coaches. No one spoke to the NCAA. Not one person.
I've
That's
said
not what
multiple
cooperation
times,
is.
they did not cooperate with the Big Ten by any means, but they did cooperate with the NCAA. I mean, those
No
were
one
two
interviewed.
different
Not one person. How is that cooperating, Nate? How is that cooperating when
a single
they asked
interview.
for interviews from everyone involved and no one went to the interview?
No, come on. Someone went to the interview.
No one did. Who interviewed? Who do you think interviewed?
I don't even know about this allegation that no one interviewed. I've never even hear anyone make that.
You knew that Harbaugh didn't do it. You know that Stalions didn't do it. Those are the two main ones.
Real
no
time.
one. Yeah. No one was
AI disagrees with
cooperating
you.
at all.
AI says yes, Michigan coaches did talk to the NCAA, but the situation is complex.
Who? Give me some names. Who?
You're wrong.
Who talked?
AI says you're wrong.
Who talked? Did they give a name?
NCAA investigated allegations of sign stealing. Several coaches were involved. Some staff members faced allegations of failing to cooperate. Yeah, they did.
Who? I'm still waiting for
Harbaugh
the name of one person who cooperated.
They gave up all of their electronics equipment, just not their personal. Harbaugh specifically. There's a lot of cooperation going on there.
I don't know.
Even Connor Stalions interviewed with
why is he getting a 10-year show cause for cooperation?
Because they're using Jim Harbaugh as the whipping boy, basically, because they know that he's not going to have to serve it. They can come off looking really strong, busting up Connor Stalions and Jim Harbaugh, and then go light on the university and save the networks a bunch of money, basically, by not wounding one of their big teams that are going to be a big draw for all of their TV advertisements, basically.
Well, so here's my question.
It's a little dirty.
So do you think that Michigan is going to bring in more money or less money if they're let's say they have to vacate 2.5 years of wins and they're banned from postseason play for 1 year? Let's just say 1 year. You don't think that every single game is going to maybe get even more eyes on it? The only difference is they wouldn't be able to go to the playoffs, which this year they wouldn't anyway. But people are going to be talking about it nonstop.
Yeah, they will be
that's going to bring
more
nonstop. That's going to bring more interest.
They're not going to. It's not going to give more interest for Michigan. They won't be playing for anything. I mean, that you're basically you're not in the race for the playoffs.
So you don't think there was a lot of interest in 2012 for Urban Meyer's first year when they weren't playing for anything?
Yeah, but that was Urban Meyer's first year. I mean, there's going to be a lot of intrigue around Michigan anyway because of Bryce Underwood. But taking away that,
I don't think it's going to affect numbers at all. The only difference is you're not going to the postseason, which you probably wouldn't be going this year anyway with the freshman
vacating
quarterback.
wins wouldn't ruin it. Wouldn't ruin anything. Yeah. That doesn't mean anything other than to me and you and the bet. It means a lot, but otherwise it doesn't. It would irritate me too if they had to vacate anything, because then that would mean that Michigan, the NCAA, thinks that what Connor Stalions did rose to the level of cheating, which I don't agree with. I don't think you can cheat by buying tickets to a football game, even if you're recording the sideline with your phone. I mean, shit. So anyone could do that. I could go buy tickets to every Buckeye game personally.
Well, you don't have to feel like it's cheating.
Video record the sideline, post it on YouTube, and then I could go to name someone, Sam Webb, and say, "Hey, I'm going to be recording all of the Ohio State game sidelines and say, hey, I'm posting it on YouTube publicly. Tell someone about it. It's there. I mean, that would be so easy. I don't think that you can
Which
count that as
means
cheating.
what he did was that it just goes to show like how stupid this
That
whole
dumb
thing was.
that he went by. Well, Connor Stalions also had it on his Venmo, right? He had a couple like curious acronyms on there, like the
there was
teams,
more than
like
a couple.
GA. He put like GA for Georgia.
Yeah, he had a bunch on there. Yeah, I mean it was pretty obvious, but I mean obviously there was more than that. They you know, in the notice of allegations that was leaked, the first one, before they switched it, you know, they had an amended. That's the other thing. There's still so much more, like just from the first notice of allegation that came out. I mean, they were saying like they had like evidence of 58 incidents of the advanced scouting, and you know, Michigan would still, I think, admitted to like 8 of them or something, right? I mean, that was
Yeah, they
like the
said they
fight.
weren't all for some reason. I think maybe because
No, I mean, I think
other
their
people
argument
went
was
and not
if
him.
it wasn't someone from Michigan doing the recording, that they don't think that it should have been a violation. And Michigan was, you know, they were saying that, you know, having an agent do it for us doesn't count, whereas the NCAA was saying, you know, if you pay someone or you tell someone to do this for you, it's still a violation. So that's why you can't get away with it unless someone, you know, if you ask someone to do it, then you get in trouble. But if they do it, like you said, your scenario, without anyone asking, then it would be fine.
Yeah, I could just post it on YouTube, essentially. And it's all, I mean, everything that a coach does. And remember, sign stealing is not illegal, right? It's only the in-person scouting that is in the bylaws.
Yes.
So
Advanced.
basically, like, just because he was stealing signs
Well,
while he was
also,
there, you can't make that illegal.
I think you couldn't do it with electronics either. There's a rule against the electronics.
There is something with electronics, and I'm unclear about that. We'll have to do a little more research into that, because I know now teams have iPads. They have tablets on the sideline now, and they can look at previous plays. But there's still some rules around that. There's still rules around that.
For recording.
You probably still can't take an electronic device and in-person scout with it. But I don't know if it's a double whammy, because I know it doesn't say anything about recording digitally in the bylaw, in the specific bylaw. It might say there might be another bylaw around that though. But sign stealing is not illegal. So if you're in-person scouting and you're busted, answer this for me. So if you're in-person scouting, like what Connor Stalions did.
You mean advanced in scouting?
Advanced in-person scouting. Yeah. And he's sign stealing while he's there. He's stealing signals from coaches. Stealing signals from coaches itself is not illegal, but does it become illegal if you do it while you're in-person scouting?
No, it's not scouting if you're playing the game. Scouting it has to be in advance, not at the same time.
Yeah, like what Connor did. But if you're stealing signals while you're in-person advanced scouting, like another team.
Oh, you mean during the game?
That doesn't necessarily make
sign
stealing illegal because it's not illegal.
Yeah, he hasn't made that defense, but that's possible.
But I don't know that the NCAA would even consider that to be an offense, because sign stealing is not in a bylaw.
Yeah, but I wanted to go back to the interesting part was, so the notice of allegations that first came out was amended when something else was added, and that's why, you know, the original hearing was moved from several months ago all the way back to June. So I think it was like the middle of June is when it happened. So I wonder what was added, because there was already a bunch of allegations in there, and it's interesting that the first one was leaked, but the new one was never leaked. So nobody knows what was added in that second one. And you know, if it was something minor, it would have been leaked just like the first one was. So a lot of people think that Michigan has been leaking a lot of this stuff because they're trying to make, you know, the stuff that doesn't look as bad, they're leaking. And it's just interesting that the first one was leaked and not the second one. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Why could that be?
Do you want to pull up the allegations in your article?
1 second.
Brian, I'm going to show this. Nate, tell Matt if it goes public this week, the school would have known what the punishment is up to a week in advance. So Michigan learns what it is a week in advance. So then maybe they could have leaked it to somebody. I mean, they could. That's possible. If they know about it a week in advance, next week, it could get leaked today for sure.
One sec.
Do you know what you're doing?
I try it. Let's see. Why is it not working? I don't know why it's not working.
Okay. We'll turn it off and we'll come back to it.
All right.
Matt was just going to show us what he actually thinks is going to happen. And you could probably just read it off. You don't need to show it.
Yeah, the main thing that we wanted to talk about was, so I mean, I said initially, like I thought the best case scenario was Michigan losing 2.5 years of games and then having vacated wins for, I would say, at least 1 year, possibly 2, and then losing 10 scholarships. Of course, losing scholarships nowadays doesn't matter at all because of NIL. Probation extending, which everyone knows that's going to happen with I mean, they're already on probation. That's probably going to be the worst punishment for Michigan anyway, having extra years of double secret probation, because Michigan can't not go more than a year or 2 without getting in trouble these days. I'm interested to see if Moore actually gets a serious penalty here for doing this, because he's technically a repeat offender as well, having been suspended once already, and then now he's getting in trouble for, while as a repeat offender himself, also getting in trouble for, deleting the evidence as, a level 2 violation normally, but that's going to look bad being that he's a repeat offender. And I just think it's going to be, I don't see how they're getting off with nothing, based on, just going through all the other cases. Obviously this is completely unique compared to everything else, but usually when there's a serious, multi-year scandal like this, or any other major scandal that's happened, the NCAA usually comes down pretty hard, like what they did with Penn State. And then a lot of them, they punish people really hard when you lie or when you don't cooperate. That's basically everything that Michigan is doing. I mean, Harbaugh has just not been cooperating at all the entire time, and they're going to punish him, which doesn't matter. But I think that they're really going to go after the school this time because of the lack of institutional control from just every single person along the way throughout the entire investigation. They're just trying to impede everything, trying to not volunteer any of the, just even basic things like all the interviewing and everything that they want them to do. I don't see how there's no, the only mitigating factor they had was like right up, like a couple weeks before the hearing, they offered Moore to be suspended 2 games. That's like the only thing. And then they turned over the text messages after he deleted them. Those are the only things that I can see that are even a little bit mitigating. And they wouldn't have been turning those text messages over if they were bad. We know that they would have been deleted permanently if that was the case.
Yeah, they would have been wiped somehow. I don't know that they can do that though, but I don't know what the NCAA can do. But is it possible that we are overhyping in-person scouting as a major scandal? Like just the bylaw itself? Because, I mean, we don't have really a history of it ever happening.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Which was a very small case, granted, and a very
I'm
small.
not. Yeah, because I'm not really putting a ton of weight on that. I think it's mostly just the sheer number of violations over a period of time. So so whether you think it's serious or not, I mean, it's still 58 times over 2.5 years, and then you've already been getting in trouble a lot over the last 2 years anyway. Multiple coaches getting in trouble for various scandals. Their coach or the president of the university is going along with it. and then he gets an extension. It's like one of the highest paid presidents in the country, and then mysteriously resigns, which was weird. And he, goes and tries to get a job at Florida, can't get it. Like who does that? Who resigns right after they get this high paying raise to be like one of the highest paid presidents in the country? Why would you resign in that situation?
I don't think the president has much to do. I mean, if we saw the athletic director, Ward Manuel, leaving, then that would be a red alert. But the president, I don't think has a whole heck of a lot to do with like the medial tasks of staffers on the football program. So, I mean,
no, if
you're reading the tea leaves,
it's the lack of institutional control for the whole thing, top to bottom. It's just he was going along with it. He was saying bet, and they were right in the middle of all of this. He was going along with it.
See, you're conflating two things: the NCAA and the Big Ten. That was the bet. That whole bet thing was the Big Ten. That was when they were getting busted by them. You got to separate those two because those are two different institutions doing. Well, I would say the Big Ten did an investigation, but they didn't. They just said, "Oh yeah, that looks like they really did it." So we're just going to punish Jim Harbaugh.
That was a different violation. That was a sportsmanship violation. So that's
well, but for the same thing, for what Connor Stalions was doing. I mean, it was all based on that. But if you're reading the tea leaves, like in the way Michigan's behaving right now, like no coaches are leaving. They're doing great.
They already all left. What are you talking about?
No coaches are leaving. Like why would they come to Michigan if there's going to be this major punishment coming through? They wouldn't be getting great coaches. They wouldn't get Chip Lindsey if that was happening. Bryce Underwood would not be coming to Michigan.
Bryce Underwood is going to go wherever they pay him $8 million. No one else is paying
12 million.
12 million. Sorry. Yeah, dude.
It's like a whole.
I hate Michigan. I would be playing for Michigan if they offered me $12 million, and I hate them.
I would. Yeah, you and I both would.
Like who's going to turn down $12 million? Sure. That's insane. Fans always, complain about this stuff, but there's no one's turning down that much money.
Yeah, but I mean, they're still doing really good with a lot of recruits.
And he was talking.
Leaving.
By the way,
the new coaches they brought in, no one's leaving. Like
he was a huge
of Michigan right now shows that they're not expecting something really big. That's the tea leaves and the behavior that I'm reading. Their body language basically is it just doesn't seem like they're expecting.
Well, they don't know. They have no idea. Nobody knows.
Nah.
I'm sorry. One person.
I think they have an idea.
One person knows. Justin Spiro. That's it. And the fact that everyone is acting like this guy is fucking gospel, unbelievable. And again, I have nothing against the dude, but it's just unbelievable that like the entire sports media world is now taking this as gospel. What Justin fucking Spiro is saying, it's just absurd to me.
He very well could be trolling. I think there was something you sent where he tweeted that he said, "I'm not trolling," but you never know. I mean, it could be one last ditch effort to just get the views up, to get your name out there right before this whole thing comes to
it would be an amazing troll job.
I will talk about real football.
I will give major props if that's what it is, but I don't know. It's just crazy that people are acting like this is a real story.
I have a hard time believing that Michigan for months now hasn't had some sort of an idea about what they were getting. I just don't believe that they don't know that they don't have a good idea what's coming.
I think they have no idea. I don't think anyone knows.
It's not that secret. It can't be. I don't think.
No, it is. No, every other major scandal, like with every other big school like this, no one knew until it was released. There was no early leaks on anything on any other major school ever. It's just like, someone gets in trouble, they talk about it for a few days, usually, and then if you're not a fan of that team, you don't hear about it for 2 years, and then all of a sudden one day there's a big article and there's the punishment that comes out, and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was that old coach that used to coach at Tennessee, and he's no longer there anymore. And now here's this big punishment, and like all these people, and like Hugh Freeze. How many years after he left did he get busted at Ole Miss? And it's the way it goes. It just there's no advance. Like you don't ever hear any advance leaks or anything. Like the NCAA has been really good with this stuff. Like I don't always agree with the rulings and whatnot, but you don't ever hear anything until it comes out. I mean, it's been pretty locked down on every ruling that I remember.
I'd say more people care about this though than they ever have about anything.
USC?
I mean, USC was a big one.
That was huge. I mean, they had won like 2
USC,
national
Penn
titles, all
State,
the high
and
two,
Ohio State's tattoos. That was massive.
yeah.
That was massive. So everyone cared about that. And everyone cares about Michigan because it actually involved a guy in sunglasses and a fake nose and mustache sitting in the
That was
stands,
amazing.
basically recording with his iPhone 11. Oh, and he sent his mom to go do that too. It just looks so much more sinister than it probably really is.
Yeah.
I mean, these people did just buy tickets to football games and sit in the stands with the rest of the yokels like us. And
So the funny thing is, like, like, I mean, how many years ago was Spygate with Tom Brady? How many years has that been now?
oh
It was
gosh,
ages
a
ago,
lot.
right?
Yeah.
So all the top teams, aside from Michigan, they're all using like high tech drones and stuff, probably, or like hiding cameras. Like when you remember when Ohio State played Georgia in the semifinal game a
Mhm.
couple years back, and the day before our practice, when someone found a camera in the stadium. I wonder
Oh
who
yeah.
put that there. Yeah, I mean, you remember that story?
I did hear about something like that. I'm sure it was Connor
Yeah.
Stalions.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that's the type of stuff that people are doing. They're using like spy cameras. They're not putting people in the stands. Why would you do that when you can actually get like a high level secret camera and like put it somewhere?
There's lots of conspiracy theories out there now. I mean, with what's his name, Jack Sawyer, talking about that one play. I think it was in 2022 that they ran that he said they had never run before,
Oh,
and Michigan snuffed it out. What was it, like a tight end screen or something like that?
yeah. Individual plays don't matter. I know Connor tried to explain that away. I mean, the thing that I would
Well,
look at is
if they had never run it before, then how would Connor Stalions have ever in person scouted to know what that signal was if they never ran the play before? I think Jack Sawyer's making a much more sinister claim that if they had never run that play before, you couldn't have gone to a game, done advanced scouting for that if they'd never run the play before. You would have had to have hacked into the
he
Ohio
know.
State
Well,
system.
you didn't read his explanation. He said that there was like 3 parts to it, and he said that they didn't change everything. So like there's part of it is the protection, and then part of it is whether it's run or pass, and then part of it's the actual play. And we didn't Ohio State didn't change the protection, which he says is 90% of what he cares about. So for his purposes, whether it was offense or defense, even though they changed part of it, like that was part of his major complaint was when Ohio State changed their signals, they didn't change all their signals. They only changed the play call part of it, not the protections and not the formations or whatever. There was like apparently there's 3 levels to it for each of the calls, and they only changed 1/3 of what they do. So not changing everything is what cost them. And he was saying that was a major red flag that we didn't go through and switch up everything.
Oh, gotcha. It's just interesting. I think Connor did say that like anyone would have recognized the signal that they gave for that play anyway. It was something very simple. But I don't know. I mean, that it all just
Yeah,
sounds
I
very
mean, well, he knew part of it, so that was the point.
yeah. And you're right. They did snuff it out. There was a tight end running out, and they snuffed it out. But yeah, very very
I mean, they
interesting.
had the laminated play sheets for Ohio State, like for all of our cards, like at the beginning of the game. So they knew
Hey,
what they were.
hey, sign stealing is not illegal. We have to remember that.
And
It's
well,
just the advanced scouting.
if you have them laminated, the
What does
opponents.
that mean? Did you
It
cheat
means you
worse if
have
they're laminated?
no. It means you have their plays before the game started. So that means it obviously advanced scouting.
Well, I guess so. But they could have gotten that anywhere.
Because sign stealing, right? If you didn't have advanced sign stealing and you were just doing sign stealing live in the game without prior knowledge, you would have to have run some plays first to be able to see some of the signs to know what they're doing. He knew this from the beginning on the first drive because he had the laminated signs and knew what they all were. That
Yeah.
was what everyone was showing those
Did,
videos for.
did you see Connor on Crane and Company when he was talking to those guys? He was on there
On
for about
what?
an hour. Crane and Company, I think, is the
No.
podcast. He was talking about Ohio State, and Ohio State,
When was it?
at least it was in 2022 or 2023. Um, Ohio State signal callers, they were like 3 of them. They
Yeah.
never changed. They never changed who was live, the live signal caller. They had like 2
Yeah.
fakers and 1 live one. He said Ohio State never changed the live one. And he said it was starting to become really easy. He said that you could tell that who the live one was because the other 2 would get really lazy and just signal the exact same signal over and over and over.
I
And
will say that's
like,
the one really good thing that came out of all of this is now everyone's using helmet communication now, so we don't have to worry about this crap anymore.
I don't think
Which is
so. They're still
which is nice.
signaling out there. Have you seen them? They're still signaling. I mean, just if you're trying to change a play, especially on defense, how is one guy with a headset gonna communicate a play to like the entire defense verbally?
Well, you just need
And
you just need to have one person. Usually, you have one person who's checking, and they get the signal and they relay it to the rest of the defense.
you can't relay it; it's too loud, and it's all happening too fast. How are you going to relay that? The linebacker gets it. How do you relay that to the corner? They're really far away.
Well,
You can't do it.
I mean,
And the
they
quarterback
obviously
too.
have a way to do it. I mean, that's
No, they're
what they've
still
been doing for years.
signaling. Coaches are still signaling to this day.
Well, I don't think they're
Even with the
signaling as
headsets.
much. I mean, it's definitely helping, and it's not
Yeah,
relying
probably.
nearly as much. And I think
You don't have to change the play.
yeah. So
But
anyway,
yeah. Hey, listen, we got to look at one thing though. This is going to make Matt happy on a day when you are extremely down because we blame Justin Spiro. We're going to make you really happy because we're going to talk about the comparison of wide receivers for Ohio State and Michigan. And we go through these and we decide at the end who has the best position group. I mean, I don't know that this is going to be a big shocker on this one, but I think this is really interesting. I actually do have Samaj Morgan as second string in this, but I think he's first string now. Anthony Simpson had him in the spring, but Samaj is actually in the forefront now. I think he's listed as a starter, which he should be. But I don't know. What do you think about these wide receivers? I mean, you're losing. I mean, the top 2. Brandon Inniss is kind of like the guy that everyone's wondering how he's actually going to perform. I know Max
yeah,
Clare
I
is
mean,
actually getting. I put the
the
tight
main
end.
I mean, Ennis hasn't really shown to be a major playmaker yet. I mean, apparently this year in practice he's been really improved and doing a great job, and everyone's raving about him now. But from the past, he hasn't been anything like Tate or Smith, obviously. But the main reason he's doing well is because you have seen lots of flashes from Quincy Porter and Mylan Graham and Bryson Rogers. Like all those guys are unbelievable, and the fact that Innis is still ahead of them, I don't know if he's going to keep it all year because I mean, it's just even if he is legitimately, an amazing receiver this year, like keeping those guys off the field is going to be really difficult. Those guys, I mean, just unbelievable, like the talent that they keep getting. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
obnoxious. I mean, you keep losing first rounders every single year, and there's never any drop off. Just like you lose Marvin Harrison, and the receiving core gets better.
forgot
Like,
about Marvin Harrison, right? I mean, with Jeremiah coming in, completely forgot about Marvin Harrison, and Marv
yeah,
was good.
yeah. I mean, Smith is better. It's just you lose one first rounder, the next one's better.
As a
So
freshman, he's better.
yeah, which is really crazy. I mean, Marv he didn't even really play until the bowl game when our starter sat out. So that was the first time Marv actually got to start, and he got a couple touchdowns against Utah. But I mean, he probably could have put up some pretty good numbers if he didn't have superstars ahead of him. But he just he wasn't given the chance. Whereas Smith didn't have quite the the talent ahead of him other than Emeka, right? So he's obviously better than Tate and Innis or anyone else on the roster last year. So he didn't have the competition to deal with that Marvin Harrison did. Marvin had to deal with Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson and JSN.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just absurd. And Jamison Williams at one time before he was there. I mean, it's just like one after the other. I mean, when Jamison Williams has to transfer because you have too many good wide receivers where you're not getting enough playing time. The guy who ends up winning the Biletnikoff Award.
That's wild.
And then we throw in, like probably the most underrated person on the whole team this year is probably Max Clare because he's going to open up everything, or I should say, Jeremiah and Tate are going to open up Max Clare to just completely light up, light up the world at tight end. Like he's easily the best. He's probably going to put up bigger numbers than any tight end we've ever had, which it's not saying that much, but we've
We'll see.
we've not had a lot of elite tight ends over the years. We've had some good ones, and second or third rounders, fourth rounders, but never really elite tight ends. So my in '95, my freshman year, we had Ricky Dudley, and he was a beast. I think he had the second most receiving yards in Ohio State history at tight end. But yeah, we don't generally have tight ends like that, and they're not going to be able to put a lot of emphasis on covering Claire because there's just way too many weapons at wide receiver. And having an elite tight end reminds me of the Cowboys when they had great receivers and their quarterback was just always just checking down to the tight end, and the tight end just always had 120 catches a year because no one wanted to cover him because they were worried about the wide receivers. And that's what Ohio State's offense is going to be now with finally having an elite tight end that no one's really talking about that much.
Yeah, you know what? You guys had another elite tight end, and I can't remember his name. I remember being really worried about him when he signed with Ohio State, and I can't remember it. He left maybe 2 years ago. I think he was actually a 5-star. Do you remember his name? And it's funny that we're both struggling to remember the guy's name because
he was good, but I mean, he didn't put up like big numbers or anything because
he was a super stud coming out of high school.
Yeah,
but
most of our tight ends come to
Ryan Day
blockers.
Doesn't use tight ends very much. We'll have to see if he actually uses them.
Well, usually the types of people that he recruits, he makes sure that they're really good blockers. Whereas, I don't really know if Max Claire could block, to be honest. But he was an absolute stud on Purdue of all teams, right? I mean, Purdue doesn't have anything on offense. He's the only person that the defense has to worry about, and yet he still lit up everybody all year in the Big Ten, which was really strong last year.
Yeah, it's interesting. So one more question on Ohio State wide receivers. I've asked this before. Jeremiah Smith, are you worried about him getting to be where he is just so good? He just basically takes next year off.
Next year? I'm not worried about next year.
Not worried about next year, but he's like that type of talent that's like, even if he gets a little,
he'll get enough money that
he'll be like, all right.
Well, so before NIL, yes. Before NIL, yes, I would be worried about that. But with NIL, he'll get enough money that he'll play.
Maybe that's very true. But the money.
That's one of the really good things about NIL is you aren't going to have to worry as much about people sitting out. I mean, if you're getting money to play, I think that becomes far less of a concern. Where it's like you get a little minor injury, you sit out.
At his level, he might. But you're right. It does. It is actually good for other players staying and not actually sitting out. I agree with that. Maybe not at his level though, but we'll see. This is more wishful thinking on my end. I think just because I would be awesome if Jeremiah just said, you know what, I don't need to play my junior year. Got nothing more to prove. I'll just tag out. I'll tag out. I'm good.
So let's make a prediction for what is going to be the total amount of receiving yards our receivers and tight ends are going to have on our teams this year. What do we think?
No, I don't want to do that.
Let's put out a guess.
Hold on, let's talk about Michigan first, and hopefully you'll forget that you just asked that. One thing though, Donovan McCulley, guy transfer from Indiana, they gave him the number 1 jersey already, which is wild. The guy's never even played. I mean, that's probably maybe.
Was he the guy that was injured all last year?
What's that?
He was the guy that was injured most of last year for Indiana?
Yeah, exactly. He was injured. Big receiver, 6'5", big dude going, great at the jump ball. But
they got him for his blocking, not for his receiving. He's basically
they brought him in for his blocking. That's very possible. But I don't know. I think Michigan's receivers, definitely not going to say they're great because we've never seen anything. But the quarterbacks were so bad for Michigan last year. Like, if you were one of those receivers, would you want your resume to be made up solely of Alex Horgy throwing you the ball and Davis Warren throwing you the ball? You would want a second chance.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I mean, there was a lot of hype around Alex Orji, like in the preseason, in the video games, and in all the
Don't
magazines. People
remind
were
me.
comparing him to Deshaun Watson, and just like superstar quarterbacks. And
Michigan
like,
has had the next Cam Newton like 3 or 4
how
times
many
now.
starts did he even make it last year? Was
He
it
made a
like
few after Davis
3?
Warren. After Davis Warren proved that he was not a quarterback. A few, and they didn't use him right, but they just ran other running backs basically behind him. He ran a few times, but yeah, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that to be a receiver on the Michigan team and have that kind of resume. But
they
we'll
must have
see.
a really hard time getting receivers to come there, because who's going to want? I mean, it's one thing if you're a quarterback, because you're still most likely not going to put up major yards even as a quarterback, because you don't have anyone to throw to, and you're just running anyway.
We'll
So
see. Chip Lindsey's
I
a
mean,
different offensive coordinator. He's got a lot of history of having some pretty prolific offenses.
I know, but
They've got Bryce
it's going to
Underwood.
take a few years of recruiting and NIL to build up the receiving
It's
core
going to take
to be
it's
even
going to
like
take this year
to
probably.
be even halfway competent, right? I mean, it's just been so bad for so long now. I mean,
Yeah.
remember the Cooper years? How you guys always used to have good receivers.
Yeah, Buckeyes did too. Just not good quarterbacks at Ohio State back then. Yeah, Michigan always had
Yeah,
good
how did you
receivers.
guys
Got a
go from
history.
like having all the best quarterbacks and receivers to complete trash for so long now? It's
2
been kind of
words, Rich
been kind of
Rod.
crazy. Yeah,
Rich Rod. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what
he was unfairly fired.
happened. You're right. He was. But I don't think we need to put much of a prediction on which of these groups are going to be better this year. I'll just concede.
We just need to get a yardage total, and we'll do it that way instead.
You didn't forget about that?
No, we have to
Okay, go
try
ahead.
this. Is actually going to be really difficult, because I don't remember how many yards you guys had for your, because a lot of times
I'll go first.
your running backs are getting a lot of yards too. So I don't know how many yards your receivers and tight end are getting here. I know like Loveland was a stud, but I don't know anything
We're talking
about.
total yards for the entire group,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
entire unit.
Is Marlon Klein good
Marlon Klein's a good tight end.
as a receiver or a
He had,
blocker?
even with Davis Warren throwing him the ball, he had 2 or 3. He converted 2 or 3 third and longs against Ohio State last year in the second half, first and second half.
That's like the one offensive position besides running back that you guys are generally always good at.
Speaking of that, not to change the subject, but I just have to mention because this came up. Ohio State gave up in one drive, in the second to final drive against Michigan last year with Davis Warren. They gave up 3 third and longs against Davis Warren. Davis Warren threw for 3 third and longs against Ohio State in one drive, the second to last drive. The one that ended badly, the one to Jack Sawyer, the perfect pass to Jack Sawyer. Davis Warren converted 3 third and longs on that, and Marlon Klein was one of the guys that did that. It was wild. Maybe he may have even had 2 third and longs there.
So are you thinking we're going to have more than 400 yards here? Or we maybe 5?
Get you to forget about that.
Maybe 500. I want to get your total here.
So the 400 yards is the over under mark. You're saying for
I don't
the
know.
Michigan
I'm trying
receivers?
to figure it out. Honestly, I'm not sure, because it's going to be really low, but I'm not sure how low.
Dude, come on, we've got.
I mean,
Bryce
are these like
got
Penn
Bryce
State level
Underwood.
receivers here?
No, I think.
Are we going to clear 1,000 yards total from all?
I think Michigan's going to have probably.
Now we're not
Bryce
talking
Underwood's
about the
gonna have
backups.
2,500.
We're
I think
only
Bryce
talking about the
Underwood's going to have
starters here.
2,500 yards. No, he's not
only
going
the
to have that
starters.
many. I take that back. I think 2,300 yards passing. Bryce Underwood.
No, we're not talking about Bryce Underwood. We're talking about the receivers and the tight end, because they get a lot of fake yards passing to the running back on dump passes.
I think
and then the backups are going to get stuff
unit,
on late in the game. I'm talking about just your starting receivers and the tight end. That's it.
I'm wondering if the Michigan receivers are going to crack 1,000 yards. With Bryce Underwood, I say 1,100 receiving yards for the
1,100.
unit.
Wow,
that's pretty low.
Yeah, I'm going under 1,000. I don't think that's going to happen. There's no way. I think my bet will be Carnell Tate is going to have more receiving yards than all three starters and your tight end. How about that?
Screw you, Matt. I wish upon you just reading that Justin Spiro article or whatever he wrote about Michigan just all night long. I hope that gives you nightmares tonight.
I think Max Clare might have more yards than all of your receivers.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not implicating these wide receivers based on the results of last year.
And I'm not even necessarily
giving
saying it's their fault. Like it could just be that, Michigan doesn't like to throw, and they generally haven't had good quarterback play in a while. And, even though Underwood's talented, he's still a freshman. So it might take him a little while.
Just 1 year, they didn't have it. They did have it with our last quarterback,
No, but JJ was good, but he didn't throw much. He was handing off most of the time.
No, he was pretty good. He came close.
I
to
didn't say he wasn't good. I said he wasn't
close.
throwing a lot. He did not throw a lot.
He wasn't.
That's my only point.
It's not
Obviously,
Michigan's
he's a good
offense.
quarterback.
That's not Michigan's offense. But in any case, maybe we'll wrap it up there on a low note, talking about Michigan's receivers. But yeah, we will definitely continue this. I think what's next? Running backs, and then
so I'm saying we're over 3,000 yards and you are under 1,000.
Okay, I'll remember that. That's easy to remember. 3,000, 1,000. But all right. In any case, thanks everyone for joining. Greatly appreciate it. Thanks everyone in the chat. We will see what happens in the next.
Spiro, you masterful bastard! What a great troll job.
I know you're giving Matt terrible dreams tonight. He's not going to sleep well. Anyway, everyone, thanks a lot. Take care. We'll talk to y'all later, and go Blue.
Go Bucks.